Hi, I'm Representative Dan Sadler, and this is Video Capital Update for Tuesday, April 4th. Well, as we enter the final few weeks of the legislative session, budget and fiscal issues are coming to a head. Now, when it comes to the budget, it's important to remember that the House and Senate each pass their own versions of the operating budget, and after neither one accepts the other's version, they send both to a 6-member conference committee to work out compromises. The House has already passed its version of the operating budget, and this week the Senate will pass theirs. The budget for the Senate is about $262 million in state funds, lower than last year. It includes a 5% cut in school funding, which is the second largest part of the budget, and a department that has been largely safer from budget cuts so far. Now, I don't support the House majority budget because it's $331 million higher than the Senate's, and it assumes $660 million in income taxes, plus a change in the permanent fund that would lead to dividends of just $1,000. In general, the House majority's fiscal plan calls for a permanent fund restructuring, an income tax, and a bigger budget. The Senate, by contrast, wants a POMV restructuring of the permanent fund, a spending cap, and continued budget cuts. Now, while I object to some of the particulars, I do prefer the Senate plan and no income tax as the better deal for our district and our economy. Stay tuned, though. This will be in the top news from here on out. Some other interesting issues are bubbling to the top. One is the Real ID. Now, Alaska is running up against deadlines to meet the federal Real ID Act. If your driver's license doesn't include a physical description and have other security requirements, by June 7th of this year, you can't get out of a military base without a passport or other qualifying ID. By next January, you'll need an alternate ID to board commercial aircraft, and by 2020, you'll need an actual Real ID compliant card to fly. Now, while Alaska has resisted the Real ID because of concerns for privacy, the governor has offered a bill that gives Alaskans the options for a Real ID compliant ID or not. Now, I support personal privacy, but I also know folks have to get to work. So I'm willing to let the governor's bill pass, while I also support Representative Delana Johnson's resolution, HJR 15, asking the Trump administration to back off on the federal Real ID requirement. Second bill is Uber. Bills allowing Uber or other digital ride-sharing services in Alaska are making progress. The Senate's passed its version, and the House will soon vote on its own version. Both versions make Uber drivers exempt from workers' compensation, just like taxi drivers are. Both set insurance requirements so drivers and passengers are protected, and both would offer needed transportation alternatives for Chugach Eagle River. That's it for now, but check back soon for more. Until then, I'm Representative Dan Sadler, and this is Video Capital Update.